A small white-colored van with dents almost everywhere dashed off through a narrow street of Bombay. Dinesh, a young man of about 25 years old, looked quite strained while driving. Dinesh, Robert, Ishwar and Bhaskar worked for Shaktivel, a powerful man in Dharavi, commonly called Velubai by the people. Robert started working for Velubai from an early age. Dinesh, Ishwar and Bhaskar were Robert's friends from school and later joined him in Velubai's gang. The van slowed down and stopped near Velubai's house. There was an unusual crowd in front of the huge house. Dinesh honked the van while looking into the house, searching for someone. After a couple of minutes, an aged man with grey hair wearing a large shirt and dhoti came out. Selvam was the right-hand man of Velubai, responsible for almost everything in the gang. Selvam, with a disappointed face, walked straight to the van and opened the door. "Are you sure the goods are safe?" he asked before even he sat properly. As Dinesh started the van, he replied in a low voice, "Yes, Selvana, the goods are delivered safely." Selvan's disappointment still didn't fade off. He asked, "What's wrong with you guys? What exactly happened today?" Dinesh still didn't know if he could tell everything to Selvam, but he had no other options. He prepared his mind before he started to narrate. "We went to the location shared by you this morning. I and Bhaskar took one van, Robert and Ishwar the other. We didn't notice any unusual movements when we went. We started to return right after loading the goods. In about 2 kilometers, we noticed cops were stopping vehicles, which is a very unusual place for cops to carry out their normal checking. We decided not to stop. I increased the speed as much as possible and barged the barricades. Robert was driving the other van and he followed us. I could see through the rear mirror. The cops were chasing us in two jeeps and they were quite close. Somehow we reached the crowded part of the city and it was getting easier to lose the cops by driving between the other vehicles. After about 30 minutes, the cops completely had lost us. We reached the warehouse safely and delivered the goods. When we were about to leave, Ishwar came to us very furiously and shouted, 'Guys, Robert gave off the information to the cops. I heard him in the morning. He was telling the location on phone to someone and he disconnected the call as soon as he saw me enter the van.' Robert was totally irked and said to Ishwar, 'Oh, how brilliant you are. Now you are trying to put the blame on me. Everyone knows who wanted to betray for money that day. I'm gonna kill you, bastard.' Ishwar lost his temper and punched Robert's face with all his power. Robert fell back. I ran to lift Robert. His nose was bleeding heavily. Robert quickly turned, took a heavy metal rod that was lying nearby, and went towards Ishwar. Bhaskar tried to stop Robert, but he pushed Bhaskar away and went on. Ishwar tried to catch the rod, but he couldn't stop the rod from hitting his head and fell unconscious. We got another van from the warehouse and took both of them to the hospital. Ishwar's condition is still critical. He hasn't got back his consciousness, and Robert is fine with minor injuries. Selvam still couldn't understand everything and asked, "But what made you guys think that someone might have given the information to the cops?" Dinesh looked more terrified now. He said in a wobbly voice, "Something happened last week and everything changed after that day, Anna. We started to doubt each other. We couldn't sleep peacefully. Everything started to look strange to us and we were completely dreaded."